the kidnappers were taking me. I remember we passed around Abraka or whatever. It was around, is it Abraka? But it was around Warri that I was saved. And it was the military that saved me. So they are performing a lot of roles that they are not supposed to. So they are overstretched. And I would say, if we can just, a second, if we can just clap for the military for what they are doing for us. Thank you. Thank you. Then another one that it was worrisome was a vigilante, a 30-year-old vigilante in Abuja, a federal capital, who was killed in Lugbe market and set ablaze for committing what was called blasphemy by an irate crowd group on June 4th, 2022. You know, and that was quite worrisome to me. You know, then then Deborah Samuel. I'm sure you guys heard about the Deborah case. Everybody must have heard about the Deborah case. A 200 level student of Shehu Shagari College of Education in Sokoto, who was lynched and set ablaze for professing her faith in relation to her academic excellence. She said that Jesus was the reason she was doing so well. She just posted it on a class WhatsApp platform. And thereafter, they came after her and invited some fundamentalists into the college, and they beat her, then set her ablaze. And even when they were trying to arrest the people, after they arrested the people, I think there was a protest also. The people started protesting and, you know, going after even the Sokoto, that's the Sultan of Sokoto and some other people who condemned what had been done. So there's something like an impunity going on here. I don't know. Then Abuja, Kaduna train killing and abduction of March 28. That has happened since March. And these people are yet to be released. I even know I know the son of one of the mothers that is in that place. And he's ready to even pay anything to get the mother released. But they said they don't want to speak to anybody, that they have a problem with government. But I was happy to at least hear that at least I know they had released 2 before, and they just released 11. But I pray that they release all of them, because if you recall, there was a time they said they were going to start killing them one by one. So, I mean, that's the country that we're living in right now. Then the Southeast, we have the unknown gunmen, and then the sit at home that is affecting the Southeast negatively. Then the Northeast, the hotbed of terror and insurgency for more than 12 years, is still remains unsafe. Then the Northwest is not safe either. You know, you can't even go to Kaduna. You can't go to Kaduna by road anymore. That's been a long time. Then the train became what we started using the train and using the air, only for the terrorists to invade the airport. And Azaman airline was on ground and was not allowed to move. I think one person was killed in the process. And even the terror, because of the terror, a lot of airlines, the airlines suspended flying into Kaduna. So you can't even go to Kaduna by air. Then the train remained the way people went to Kaduna. But what happened? The train that's on March 28 was now attacked. Thereafter, you know, they're not able to use the train. So I don't know how people go to Kaduna and come back. You know, I know they try to restart that train schedule, but people are fighting against it, saying that the government has not done enough to get those people released. But at times I wonder, why Kaduna? Why are they going after Kaduna? because Kaduna has a lot of, and one of the things why I worry is we have a lot of military infrastructure in Kaduna. So why is Kaduna still so unsafe? You know, and you remember when that happened, the governor, El Rufai, he complained seriously that when that incident happened, that they should have deployed the Tucana planes to get, to be able to get the people. He was very adamant, and he said there was one other thing. He said that they hear they get the discussions of the terrorists. They listen. They know their plans. The plans to launch, and he's wondering why they are not going to stop the terrorists in their track. I don't know. All of us as Nigerians maybe can look at why is that happening, because that's a governor talking, about it. Then the ethno-religious violence in the Middle Belt has reignited old animosities and sentiments. So the Southwest, which was relatively safe, now thrown into confusion with the Owo incident. Then Lagos. I mean, when we are in Lagos, we are like, everybody that is having problem in all the states, where do they go to? They go to Lagos. They abandon their mansions in their different states, and they run to Lagos, because Lagos is supposed to be safe. But I don't know whether it's that safe anymore. Our peace was affected when David Moore, a sound engineer, I think a father of two, was on Admiralty Way. He was beaten to stupor by a gang of Okada riders, that's motorcycle riders of a certain extractions, they said. After beating him, and they beat him and his friends, 2 friends. But after beating him, that was not enough. They set him ablaze. That's on Admiralty Way. I mean, it could happen in any part of Lagos, but Admiralty Way in Lekki, Lagos, I mean, for it to happen there, it means it can happen anywhere. So that's a big problem. And then with that, the governor decided to have a motorcycle ban. And even with that, the motorcycle people of certain extraction, they have been saying they are going to turn Lagos into upside down. And there's been fear, palpable fear, even in Lagos, especially in the sides, in the Lekki axis. We've been scared. They even said Surulere axis. And Surulere witnessed a little problem in the Diarab. I don't know if some of you saw it, where there was a fight between police and the Okada riders. And they had a little skirmish in Jakonde. So we are still worried, especially after being a victim or a witness of NSAS. I'm sure you guys saw what happened with NSAS. So with that, one gets very scared. Because when these things happen, you have nowhere to go. You have nowhere to run, So that has been very scary. And then this is still with Chibok girls. I mean, if I want to talk about the different incidents, there are so many. There are too many. So I can't even talk about them. So this still with the Chibok girls being in captivity for over 8 years. And Leah Shaibu, have they been forgotten or married off? So is Nigeria a failed state? It's for you and I to look at. I had some videos, some photos here to show. I thought we were going to have a PowerPoint like we said, but even the lawmaker that's in Soludo's in Anambra, that was beheaded. So there's a state of fear in Nigeria, and we are resorting to prayers. So Pastor Itwa, please, we need you to pray for us. Because I don't know, we are resorting to prayers, we say can we all become refugees in this country? If you notice, many parts in the north, when they have all these attacks, what's happening? A lot of the people are fleeing and becoming refugees in our neighboring countries. Is that not true? And some are running to other parts of Nigeria. But with what is happening, when you even look at the map, that I have, which I would have shared, you see there's problem everywhere, insecurity everywhere, all dotted. There's nowhere, there's no peace. Like Sokoto was a peaceful place for a long time until Deborah situation occurred. And then there was an uprising thereafter when they tried to arrest the perpetrators of that incident. So it's a problem. So now, what are the methods of attack? How do these people attack? Because you have to have an idea. In security, we call it modus operandi. Because if you don't have an idea, they will just get you. So you have to have an idea. We know already that even during the COVID period, when there was lockdown, there were rumors that a lot of people were being dropped by trucks in different parts of the south into our forests. They are there. So, and we get the impact when we are traveling and then we are kidnapped and then taken into the forest and we see what is happening there. And I even heard that not too long ago, just recently, even in Edo State, they were still dropping people with trailers. So these people, and at times when they bring them, they're holding cutlass. And do you come to visit people with cutlass? And then I'm wondering what's happening to the security network. People come into an area with cutlass, and nobody stops them. No policeman stops them. Then I know the one even Amoteku in the western part, they got some intelligence that buses were coming, and they were able to interdict one out of 3. And the one they interdicted was filled with ammunitions, with sharp, dangerous, poisonous knives, and all sorts of things for war. So they got one, and I don't know whether some of you saw that one. So that is quite scary. So the method of attack, coordinated armed assaults, rocket launchers in some cases, AK-47. I think we have even seen where they are holding AK-47 and having meetings with some people in the meeting. And even at times when Guni is talking to them, you see some people with AK-47, and no one is arresting them. Then kidnapping, IEDs, bombings, car bombings, arson, people raped and decapitated, beheaded, body parts sold, stoned, set ablaze, mob action utilized, use of military uniforms and vehicles. So actual and attempted attacks against internally displaced persons have happened. Then markets, they've attacked markets, places of worship like we saw at the place, security force installations, we've seen a lot of that, government and educational facilities in Borno and Adamawa. There has been an increase in suicide attacks. That was earlier, they did that. Then many operate from bushes, which are mainly ungoverned. The enterprise is said to be highly organized with top sponsors who armed the pastoralists. Motive, they have a grouse with governments. Some claim the Nigerian land is theirs. Boko Haram against education and anything Western. Then we know that the Ruga, colony, and ranches in all states have been attempted unsuccessfully. Then there are not national data. The 2021 let me just, since I don't have much time, I'll just take only one. January to May 2021, we had about 2,558 incidents. The same period, January to May 2022, we have 4,223 incidents. So you can see that it's escalating, it's increasing. So now we are preparing for election, and we know that insecurity is a major concern for upcoming elections. We know that over 42 attacks have occurred in INEC offices, and a lot of their card readers have been destroyed. Then the implication, Nigeria has been ranked 6th most terrorized country in the world, 3rd in Africa. That's after Afghanistan, Iraq, Somalia, Burkina Faso, Syria, then Nigeria. These are two countries at war. Then the country, it's not like we haven't been spending on the military. We have been. The allocation for the military has increased drastically. In 2015, about 150 billion was for the army. Then in 2022, 579 billion for army. In 2015, 75 billion for navy. In 2022, 148 billion. Then Air Force, 77 billion in 2015, and then in 2022, 180 billion. So we've been spending, but it's not that we've not been spending, but as we are spending, a lot of it, we are not getting the results that we're supposed to get. If we remember what happened, even when this new government came, they said a lot of the money was embezzled, and they started going after corruption. You know, they started arresting a lot of people. And in this particular dispensation, I think we're still having the same problem, because even the Auditor General of the Federation was said to have stolen, 80 billion. So if he stole it and we've had some snakes swallow some, then we leave the others. Then, as another problem, some governors have been paying bandits before. So when they stop, then there's problem. You know, we don't have the slide to show all of that. So some governors have been negotiating with them and paying them. So now they say pay, and they say they won't pay. So they come and they want to make their lives ungovernable. And then the food security that we are going to have, because people cannot go to farm with these headers, going after them. So what's going to happen is going to affect food security. So we might have to start importing food soon. Then causes of insecurity, pervasive inequalities and marginalization, ethno-religious conflicts, conflict of perceptions between public and government, weak security system, military overstretched and performing many police functions, loss of social, cultural, and communal value system, porous borders, rural and urban drift, unemployment and poverty, and then we have terrorism, frequent strike by ASU and other institutions. Till now, our children at home. Of course, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. So they are not in school. So some of them who have some criminal tendencies can also go into crime. Socio-economic grievances, population growth and pressure on economic resources, climate change. When they talk about the people coming into the country, they say because of the desertification of the Sahel, that's why they are moving south. But at the same time, Nigeria cannot become a dumping ground for everybody. So, and you cannot absorb all of them. And apart from that, if they were even coming and peaceful, there's a different matter. But in this case, they are the places they are coming into, they are making the people that live there refugees already in the north. I'm sure you can see that. So that means soon we get ready to be refugees. The environmental degradation, weapons proliferation, then an ineffective and inefficient justice system, that is failing to arrest and punish offenders. At times when they arrest some of these people, they laugh. When they take them to the police, they said they are going to release them. The people they are scared of are those in the bush, those ones that will come after their families. They are not scared of being taken to the police because they know they'll be released. So that's a big problem that we are having too. So, recommendations. Visionary leaders, as has been said, are needed. The country desperately needs leaders with national perspective and an eagerness to change the nation. Good governance is the panacea to Nigeria's insecurity challenge. We need to overhaul our security architecture and put in place a security system that is technology-driven, proactive, and comprehensive and decisive. Then, what Nigeria needs right now? We are saying, what do Nigeria want? Nigeria needs peace. We need love. We need unity. We need hope. We need access to basic necessities of life. And not to debt. We don't need debt. We don't need sorrow. We don't need pain. We don't need hopelessness that we have just been, that we have to struggle with now. So we also need to establish border patrols teams. Like we know our borders are porous. So we have to have border patrols. But we know that we don't have enough men to do this. So what I say is that we should utilize drones. Drones that are manned with cameras, CCTV cameras, that's using technology to, use that, and even the Tucano jets that they got, use them to patrol these borders. And when they see that, where they see there's a problem, then they address it. But I don't even think it's only porous border. I think we just allow them to come in. Because they don't only come into the border, they move into our urban city, and we see them moving, and nobody stops them. So, but we should use that. Then hire more police, because, the population, if the population is increasing, we need to also increase the police. We can't leave it the way it is. Then, and provide better pay for them and welfare, equipment for them to better perform their function so that the military can return to the barracks. Restructure the Nigerian state, which Doctor has spoken about. Then return to regional system of government, where Nigeria is divided into regions, North, Middle Belt, Midwest, West, and East. And where they take care of their own resources. They own their resources, but then send about 10% to the center and let the center manage that. Because why do I say that? The regions should be closer to the people, and then they'll be able to develop their people. And if they don't develop their people can go after them, Then the regional security arrangements like Amoteku, vigilantes, from what we have seen, have been, we say, mostly effective. So we need to have more of that working for us. Then the values, the moral and civic education, which we all enjoyed. We older ones, we enjoyed that, should be brought back into our curriculum. Then establish state police. Government should seek assistance internationally. If they have to use mercenaries to work with the military to do that very fast, they should do that. Because if you recall, just before election in 2015, when the things became so bad, Jonathan was forced to use, President Jonathan used mercenaries, and he was able to reclaim our territories from these terrorists. So if we have to do that to reclaim our forests and our governed spaces, then let's do that. The equipment should support equipment and support for the troops. Engage Southeast on a round table because they have things like Professor already spoke about. They have grievances. They are part of us. So let's sit down and talk with them and let's make them feel part of this union. Then the government should encourage the pastoralists from the West African sub-region that have taken over our forests to move to other countries, as Ghana has done, since they have engaged in criminal tendencies that is affecting the fabric of our nation. Thank you.
Some more appreciation for our keynote speaker, Ambassador Dr. Victoria Ekomu, speaking to us about the state of insecurity in our country and what needs to be done. Also spoken very passionately as one who has also been very directly affected by insecurity and the challenges that lie within. A few questions have come in, and we look forward to having our speakers on stage to field very few of these questions. If your hands are still free, please appreciate our speaker once again. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. We've been live on Channels TV for a few hours already, and I know some members of your family, your friends would like to know what you are doing today and how you're spending this Democracy Day. Please go to Channels TV Live on YouTube now, because I know you have YouTube on your phone. Just go to the YouTube app or to youtube.com, look for Channels TV Live, and you'll see us right now. There is an arrow at the bottom of that screen. Please do it right now. There's an arrow there, and it's written share. Share it to your WhatsApp status. Put it up there and say, we're at the Forum Nigeria Live 2022, and these discussions are going on. Join us. We are still live. Thank you so much. We'd also like to very deeply appreciate our sponsors for the Forum 2022. Please appreciate Heritage Bank with us. Appreciate Christ Church Port Harcourt. Appreciate Ultra Deep Resources. Appreciate Dudu Bok, Nigeria. And appreciate you who has made it possible to be here. Sponsor above all is the big grand overall designer, as we call him, G-O-D, God. Please appreciate him with all that you have. In asking the questions, what do Nigerians want? We felt it wise to reach out to the presidential candidates of the various political parties of our great nation to say, what is your vision and passion for our nation? Thankfully, one of our candidates will be joining us via Zoom right now, and we'll be able to see him on the screens. He is the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. He is also the former governor of Anambra State. Please welcome with us His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi. Your Excellency, sir, you are welcome. His camera is on, and his sound is on. Please say something so we hear you, sir. One more time, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we hear you loud and clear. Welcome to the Forum 2022. Sir, you have the next 10 minutes, please.
Okay, if you can hear me very well, let me just first is to most sincerely thank the organizers of this event and everything. I wanted to come to Port Harcourt myself this morning. Unfortunately, because of the public holidays, the flights were distorted and I'm traveling out, so I couldn't make it to Port Harcourt. So I thank you, and I thank all those who are participating. And let me most sincerely also thank the keynote speaker. I came towards the end of his speech, and everything, I can't but agree with him, with everything he said about the problems of our country and all that. But except that we have a little bit of a difference. Why people still want to say these places is collapsing or is failing, are classified as a failed state. Because if you look at the two ingredients of a failed state, we've qualified for that. The first is when you